Shorthorns and Shorthorn Plus, open females and bulls. Our judge this morning is Hugh Mooney. Hugh brought his first Shorthorn female in 1972 to begin his FFA project. After trying another breed, he enjoyed the docility of the Shorthorn breed and continued to expand his project. In 1978, Hugh won the California FFA Beef Proficiency Award. He continued raising Shorthorn cattle while attending college at California State University, where he was a member of the livestock judging team. As a person who always valued structural integrity, it was often a struggle to find cattle that were sound. From 2015 to 2021, Mr. Mooney served as a member of the Board of Directors of the American Shorthorn Association. In 2021, served as president of the board. In his day job, Mr. Mooney is California's Assistant State FFA Advisor and works with the state officers to serve more than 108,000 FFA members and plan the annual California FFA Convention. It is definitely an honor to have the opportunity to have Judge Hugh Mooney here with us today to judge the Keystone International Livestock Exhibition. Please put your hands together and welcome him here this morning. I have been told we are ready to get rolling here in the Shorthorn side of the arena, so we are ready for Class 1 Junior Bull Calves. In this class, it looks like we have 2 entries with ages ranging from February 18th, 25 to February 21st, 2025.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you to the 2025 Open Charolais Show. It will be exhibited here in Large Arena Ring 2. If our classes are ready, we are ready to begin with Class 100, our spring heifer calves. We'd like to introduce our judge today for the Charolais show. It's Mr. Lee Denzer from Kewanee, Illinois. He's been involved in the livestock industry his entire life and has spent his career as a lifelong college educator. He started his career at the University of Illinois, then a couple years at Joliet Junior College, and a majority of his career at Blackhawk College East Campus in Kewanee. He's been an animal science professor teaching meat animal evaluation and has coached or co-coached several national champion livestock judging teams and individuals over his years. He has raised and shown livestock as a youth in both 4-H and FFA, as a parent and as a breeder. Many very popular current judges of all ages have been students at Blackhawk and have been taught by Lee. He has judged shows in nearly 35 states, judging national shows as well as many county and state shows from coast to coast. He's one of a very few judges that has judged multiple national shows in both beef cattle and swine. Through it all, he has enjoyed working with young students of all ages. He also enjoys working and consulting with producers with their beef cattle herds and livestock operations. Could we please have a warm welcome for our Judge Lee Denzer.
Over here on the Shorthorn side, we just got 2 entries, 2 very dissimilar kind of bulls that certainly have some different purposes. We're going to go ahead with the roan calf. Really like his structure and the way he moves out, especially about his front end, compared to the lighter colored calf that clearly has more muscle to him. With that comes some coarseness up front. I don't really appreciate the way he handles his front end quite as well as the other calf, but certainly if you're looking for that extra muscle, and bone. He's got it. I'd just like to see it in a little more attractive package. We'll look at him a little bit later at the end of the show. Thank you.
Good morning here on the Junior Bull side in our Shorthorn Plus show. Entry 4594, Pleasant Tipsy Tornado, was just awarded your Junior Bull Calf Champion. And second place in that class in your Junior Bull Calf Reserve was entry 5108 with HHL Detonation Style. We are now ready for Class 4 Senior Bull Calves. Looks like a single entry with entry number 2236.
Just a single entry over there on the Shorthorn side, senior calf. Got a lot of good things about him, moves out pretty well. Certainly appreciate him in terms of his performance for a senior bull calf. We'll talk about him a little bit more later when we come back for our champion, but a really nice red bull the young lady has. I think has a lot of good things about him. Congratulations.
Results of Class 4 Senior Bull Calves. First was awarded to CFPC Woolsworth, a September 6, 2024 bull owned by Piper Cates from Modoc, Indiana. Woolsworth will also go on to be your Senior Bull Calf Champion. In the ring at this time is Class 7 Junior Yearling Bulls. We have a single entry of 2142 with a birth date of January 7th, 2024.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here to judge the Charolais show. I just love these Charolais. They have such a valuable place in our beef industry. This is a tough class to start with. I think we've got some quality from top to bottom, and just depending on kind of how you want to lay your priorities this morning. But I think this heifer is a solid place to start. She's a beautiful heifer from the profile. Really a structurally sound female on both ends. She's got some rib and body, but she's still plenty youthful enough. It looks like she's going to just mature and be a very, very beautiful type of a bred heifer. This heifer may end up being as good as any. Today she's a bit green in her makeup, but I just love the amount of bone and stoutness and look that she has up through her front end. When she goes away from you, she'll want to narrow up just a little bit, but I still think she's going to be an awfully good heifer as she goes. She's just extremely attractive and very, very sound, and just a really good heifer that I think has tremendous outcome. This heifer probably is as far along maturity as any of the group, and she may end up being the more moderately framed female of the three, but I really like her width. She has the advantage in substance, the most muscle in the class, but she's also maybe just a little more mature, maybe compared to first and second. That could be an advantage for some. So, I mean, she definitely has a place. She's a quality heifer, and just maybe didn't see quite as much smoothness to her shoulder and attractiveness up front, but as first and second. But she's wide-bodied, plenty of rib and shape, lots of quality there as well. Maybe the greenest heifer of the class comes next in fourth. Really smooth pattern, very, very attractive. Just not quite stout enough to run with the first group. But boy, she's a beautiful heifer up through her front end, has her neck set on the top side of her shoulder, and still very correct there as she goes out through her hip. The heifer that closes the class is a growthy, extended, really long-framed female. On the bottom side, though, she just gets a little bit more refined in her structure. Doesn't have quite as much to her when you get behind her. Really nice class of variety here to start your Charolais show.
Just a single entry over here in the Shorthorn Plus side. Bull that's really sound in his structure, the way he moves about the ring. We certainly appreciate the shape to his rib cage. I think if I were going to change him a little bit, I'd like to see a little more expression in his hind quarter as he moves, but a really sound bull that covers his track extremely well. Really like the way he gets out and goes.
Results in our Charolais show for Class 100. First place will go to entry number 1930. That is LLC Mayberry, exhibited by Samuel Leach. Second place is entry number 4974. That is Patty Little Miss Kennedy, exhibited by Dunphy Farms, Eric Dunphy, Trails End Farm. I apologize. Third place is entry number 2207, shown by Toby Mays. Fourth is entry number 3251. That was Michaela Sugg. Fifth place was 3593. That was Bob Tibbs. Now in the ring we have Class 101, Junior Heifer Calves.
I know.
Another single entry over here with the plus side. Bull that's certainly got some middle to him. I got him, I think, maybe a little bit on the full side. As he gets out and goes, we'd maybe like to change the way that he tracks out, but certainly a bull that we'll look at later. Congratulations.
Welcome back here to your Shorthorn Plus side. We would like to catch up. So Class 7 Junior Yearling Bulls, we had a single entry, 2142, was awarded your Junior Bull Champion, SVV Stormfront, owned by Samantha Van Voris from Bowling Green, Ohio. Class 10 with entry 5790, we had a single entry exhibited by Eli Barber of Westminster, Maryland of ELB Dots Ghost. Into the ring at this time on your Shorthorn Plus side, we have Class 11, 2-year-old bulls. We have a single entry of 1231.
Another single entry over here in the Shorthorn Plus bulls. A bull that's got a tremendous amount of muscle, certainly has extra bone and foot size. If we're going to maybe change this bull, I'd like to have him move out with a little more authority off of his hind legs, but certainly need to appreciate his makeup in terms of his muscle and his bone circumference.
Results of Class 11 2-year-old bulls first, and your senior champion bull was awarded to HHF Tucker, bred and owned by Samantha Heston from Street, Maryland. We're going to bring 5790 from Class 10 back in the ring and let Judge Mooney decide on your senior champion and senior reserve champion bull at this time.
This is an interesting pair of females in our next calf class. Both heifers are really good in terms of their dimension through their rib, their depth of body, their uniformity of body depth. The heifer that starts the class, yeah, I would like to slim her up just a bit there through her throat and through her brisket, but she easily overpowers the other heifer in terms of her rib, her muscle turned to her top, the amount of shape that she brings to us from behind. The other heifer is a more extended heifer in her framework. She's longer in her skeleton, really smooth in her structure. Excuse me. Really smooth in her pattern, really sound in her movement. She just gets a bit narrower. Sorry about that. Really gets narrows up a little bit in terms of her base. She's going to always be a little more extended, always be a little bigger in her frame compared to the class winner that was just a little easier fleshing type of a female. So a little give and take in this pair.
Over in the plus side, we've got a division champion. I think it's really logical to use the red and white bull to win the division. The white bull will be reserved. Thank you.
Congratulations to your senior champion bull exhibitor, HHF Tucker. Entry 1231, exhibited by Samantha Heston from Street, Maryland. The sire was HHF Sampson the Charmer. Your reserve champion junior bull was exhibited by Eli Barber of Westminster, Maryland. Entry number 5790, ELB Dots Ghost. We are now ready to select your grand and reserve grand champion Shorthorn Plus bull. We will give our bulls, our 2-year-olds, just a second to walk around so they can get back in line.
Results of Class 101 Junior Heifer Calves in our Charolais show. First place went to entry number 3599. That is SSF Miss History Breeze, exhibited by Bob Tibbs. And second place was entry 3309, exhibited by Megan Vogel. Now in the ring, they are selecting Junior Heifer Calf Champion and Reserve.
It's great to be here again, and great to be here judging Charolais. Your state and this eastern region has a great history with Charolais, and I think our champion and reserve represent the breed and the calves really well. The pair we'll use is a pair of heifers that they're very similar in terms of their makeup, just a little difference in size and age, but they're quality heifers, I think, that are sound. I think they're in the right kind of composition for their stage of maturity and their stage of age. This first pair of heifers here are really feminine and really correct in their structure and pattern very, very well. The other pair of heifers in our second class, as I said, they vary just a bit in terms of their makeup. Our heifer that wins the second class is a really big-bodied, functional heifer that looks like she can make an awfully good brood cow. Maybe just not quite as much profile and maybe not quite as much attractiveness as we have in our first pair. For champion, let's give these kids and young breeders a really nice round of applause. These two here will be your champion and reserve calf.
In the Shorthorn Plus side of the ring, at this time we have the following. Your junior bull calf champion is entry number 4591, Pleasant Tipsy Tornado. Your senior bull calf champion is CFPC Woolsworth, entry 2236. Your junior bull champion is SVP Stormfront. Your senior champion bull is HH Tucker, exhibited by Samantha Heston from Street, Maryland. This is your grand champion bull lineup. Your reserves are the following. Your junior bull champion is HHL Detonation Style, and your reserve senior bull is entry 5790 ELB Dots Ghost. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our grand champion Shorthorn Plus Bull Drive.
Well, we don't have a lot of numbers in the Shorthorn Plus Bulls, but I think there's a couple of good ones out here. For me, it's a real logical lineup for this. One thing that's particularly important to me is structure. I've always cared about it. Back in the 1980s, when I was on a collegiate judging team, I used to struggle judging cattle because they were so bad structured. I'd convince myself they couldn't possibly use one that bad, and I'd roll it, but they'd always use the biggest, tallest one, and never liked them. So these kind of cattle certainly fit me better. I think there's two bulls out here that are structurally sound. I think one of them puts himself together with more balance and completeness and muscle shape. I think, I value EPDs. There's not a lot of difference in the EPDs on these cattle, so that really wasn't a factor. But again, for me, it's pretty logical. I'm going to go congratulate the person exhibiting the champion or reserve champion bull. Thank you.
Results of your grand champion Shorthorn Bull Drive is as follows. Congratulations, entry number 2236, Piper Cates from Modoc, Indiana with CFPC Woolsworth. He is a September 6th son of CFSF Ultimate Reward. Your reserve grand champion bull is bred and owned by Samantha Van Voris of Bowling Green, Ohio, and is SVV Stormfront, a January 7th son of TSSC BT Limit Up. That does conclude our Shorthorn Bull show. We are now ready to move into our Shorthorn Plus female show here at the Keystone International Livestock Expo. Into the ring at this time, we're looking for Class 1. Oh, I'm a little ahead of myself. We are going to take a quick break to do pictures of our bull division winners. Thank you.
Here on the Charolais side, we have a really good heifer to start this class. I think you can just start at the surface. She's just so good in her pasterns and really good in terms of the cushion that she has on both ends of her skeleton. When she gets out and goes, she just moves so fluently and correctly. And then you get on the top side of her, and from her shoulder back, she is a powerful heifer in terms of her rib, her muscle, her body dimension, and she carries it so well when she gets out in motion. And then still, when you get up front, up from a shoulder forward, then you've got a very maternal, very feminine looking female. That one there is a pretty special female. Congratulations on winning this class. Here in second, another quality heifer. All the fundamentals are there. She's a sound, balanced heifer. She's correct in her top line. She's an attractive heifer when you study her up through her front end. She gets a bit overpowered when you get right behind this female compared to the class winner in terms of shape and dimension. But boy, she's a very attractive, very correctly designed, very correct profiling female.
For those following in the program, we'll catch you up for the Charolais show. Our junior heifer calf champion was entry number 1930. That is LLC Mayberry. She is a March 1st, 25 daughter of SVY Mayfield, exhibited by Samuel Leach. And our reserve junior heifer calf champion was entry number 4974. That is Patty Little Miss Kennedy. She is an April 20th female, sired by Outsider and exhibited by Eric Dunphy. Results of Class 104, our winter heifer calf class. First place goes to entry number 2841. That is SAC Starstruck, exhibited by Matt Bauerlein. And second place was entry number 5569. That is MCF, Miss Kelly, shown by Thomas Mauser. Now in the ring, we have Class 105 Senior Heifer Calves.
Let's go ahead and we'll just bring her in first, right here. Second. Once again, lots of power in this class. Both of these females have tremendous value, in my opinion. We've got their October and September yearlings here, so just a pair of really good heifers. This heifer that starts the class, I suppose you want to layer in just a nickel smoother there through her shoulder, but I'd rather have a little shoulder and have some stoutness, some rib shape, some top shape, and have some hip in her. I just like them a little just bold and powerful when they go. And I think this one's great in her top line. She's still very, very functional in her structure, still has a tremendous amount of femininity as we look at her through her front end, and that's a really high quality Charolais female. I don't care what age or what division she's in. Next heifer. This heifer's a quality heifer as well. She is built especially well from a profile. If you study her from the front part of her muzzle all the way back, she's high-headed, really smooth in her pattern, extremely correct in her top line, and she's got some natural shape to her and spread to her top, and still has tremendous amount of rib and body to her. She just gets outpowered just a bit when you get right behind her. Not quite the Springer rib or total width of base and mass that the class winner has. Good pair of heifers there, exhibitors. Congratulations.
Results of Class 105 Senior Heifer Calves. First place will go to entry number 2869.
Spend some money and get them fixed.
That is SAC Starstruck 1005, exhibited by Matt Bauerlein. And second place is 3353, exhibited by Jackie Harward. We are now selecting our senior calf champion and reserve.
That's awesome. And there should be. It's a great day. I'm really can't tell you how excited I am to be here and judging the Charolais. I don't care how many we have in the show. Just great facility and just great to be at the Keystone. And as I said when I started, I really enjoy these Charolais. I do a lot of work collecting data for Charolais cattle and beef carcass data, and I've always felt strongly with how Charolais contribute to our beef industry and how valuable they are and how much better and you breeders have put together these cattle. I think these 4 heifers have tremendous quality, and it wouldn't matter if you had 50 calves in this division. I think you'd have these cattle would be very competitive. And so compliment the exhibitors. These 2 here are close, I think, here. Both of these class winners, I think, separate themselves. And, you know, either you just kind of pick either or. The younger of the pairs, really smooth skeleton, really attractive up front. Both of them, I think, are really good in their structure. She might have a little more reach as she gets out front, but pretty small difference. And you get behind her, and she's really got some nice shape. The other heifer, she's a really powerful heifer when you get right behind her. She's got some width to her chest floor, got some natural rib and body in through her center body, and goes back into a uniform body depth there through her flank, and still tremendous shape. And again, she's got her head up on top of her shoulder. And pair of heifers are really functional, and I think really have value and can be very competitive in any show they go. Let's give these guys a really nice round of applause, and I'll select your champion reserve in this fall division.
Just a single entry here in the plus class. I think this calf just soon be at home in the pasture nursing her mother than walking around this show ring. Real green heifer, has a future ahead of her. We're to look at her later when we select our champion. Thank you.
On the Shorthorn side, your late spring heifer calf champion was awarded to entry 1006, MWM Wild Ruby, exhibited by Matthew Mullins of Bealton, Virginia. Into the ring at this time, we have Class 4 early spring heifer calves. Birth dates on these 5 range from April 2nd to April 30th. Again, early spring heifer calves are in the ring. We have 5 exhibitors with ages ranging April 2nd to April 30th.
Congratulations and champion senior calf in our Semitol show. We'll go to entry number 2841. I'm sorry, 2841, that is correct. and it is SA Starstruck, exhibited by Matt Bauerlein, and Reserved is entry number 2869, also a Starstruck, exhibited by Matt Bauerlein. Now in the ring, we have Class 108, Late Summer Yearling.
Just have one entry here. This young man's doing a really nice job with his Charolais heifer. And she's a sound, big-bodied female, has some natural shape and dimension. She's maybe got a little bit more throat and a little more brisket maybe than what you'd like, but I really like her rib and capacity, and I think she's a very easy keeping type of female. Congratulations, big man, for hanging in her and doing a good job today.
In our Charolais show, our first place late summer yearling female will be entry number 3156. That is Neely Miss Olaf, exhibited by Lane Wakeman. We now need Class 109 summer yearlings. These females are all May in age.
I've been a lot of places. I've never been to Pittsburgh. Oh, really? Downtown. Okay. And you come out of that tunnel at night, you're like, oh, yeah. You know, like, and that was really cool. Yeah. And then I'm a huge fan of Charolais. I think I'm a freak by state. We walked all the way around PNC Park. Yep. Saw the Willie Star go in the Clemente. Absolutely. And then we walked across the Clemente Bridge. Yeah, that would be a lot. Yeah. A lot of historical. That was pretty cool, yep. My son hates Aaron Rodgers so much that he didn't see the Steelers walk through, but I can't say I'm a huge fan. I love the Steelers. Sure. I'm a Bears fan, but I like it.
Over here on the plus side, we've got class heifers with some differences in them. By the way, I've studied all the data for the entire Shorthorn Plus heifer show. There are no outliers in any of the data. That's why I'm not carrying around the page. There's really very little difference. I don't know if they're related or what the deal is, but very little difference in the data, so I won't be making any reference to that. The young lady with the heifer that's going to start the class with the black heifer, she's certainly the highest performing heifer. She's not winning because she's the biggest one. I think she's a very sound heifer as she gets about the ring. I really like the way that she tracks out. She has some extension through her neck, got some rib shape, really attractive heifer to look at. I think the roan heifer follows her in terms of kind. Really like the way she's made up through her front end, the way her neck comes out really high out of that shoulder. She gets out and goes. She doesn't quite move as free off of the hind legs as does the heifer that begins the class, but I think a real attractive heifer that's got the right kind of pattern to it. This heifer in third, I think it's really close between second and third. This is a heifer that's not quite as balanced, as smooth in her makeup from front to end. And when she gets out and goes, we'd like to change the way she moves just a bit off those hind legs as well. But a real attractive heifer, got, I think, some really good pieces in her, going to make a good cow, got some rib shape. The white-faced heifer next in line, giving up some performance. a little finer boned relative to the ones up the lane, but I think a real productive kind of female will make a good cow. Also, I'd like to change the structure a bit. The heifer that concludes our class, I think, needs to get a little more groceries at home. She's really not ready to go in terms of her condition. I think she needs to spend some time with her mother and get some flesh on her.
On our Shorthorn Plus side, Class 4 early spring heifer calves results are as follows. Entry number 2281 was first with CF Mona Lisa, owned by Samantha Van Voris from Bowling Green, Ohio. Second was LPA Max Rosa, owned by Madeline Rankin from Centerville, Pennsylvania. Third, PV Perfect Queen, owned by Charlotte Holland of Gaithersburg, Maryland. In fourth, we had Ike's Reina from Jacob Eichellob from Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania. And fifth, MWM Wild Mandolin, owned by Matthew Mullins from Bealton, Virginia. In the ring at this time, we have early spring heifer calves. We should have 2 entries with birth dates ranging between March 1st and March 11th.
Oh, absolutely. I spent most of my career around judging contests and collegiate, some 4-H kids too, but working with young people and livestock judging and helping put judging contests together. And whenever I have 4 in a class, the bell goes off. But boy, these 4 heifers would make a great judging contest class. You'd have some discussion. I'm not saying that I got a 50 on them, but I would say that it would be a fun class to evaluate. One thing I do know is if you base your decisions on soundness, looseness of skeleton, and a functional, big-bodied, feminine package, I think you need to land on this female here. She hits you hard right when she comes in. She gets out and goes so well, and yet she's built, I think compositionally she's really good. She's just right in her condition at this stage, and plenty of shape when you get in right behind her, and she still maintains a tremendously good, attractive, feminine, maternal look when she gets up front. No question the heifer in second. If you're just measuring muscle and strength of loin and top line, she has an advantage, I think, over our class winner. She may have more bone, more muscle, more rib shape. She's tremendously strong in her loin. Her neck is set way up there on the top of her shoulder. A really high quality heifer that I think is still a very close placing. I just separated on the fact that the heifer that wins is just a little looser, longer striding type of a female. This one is a very sound female, just not quite as loose in her skeleton as is the class winner. But she's a tremendous female in her own right, and that pair is pretty darn close, and I think you could go either way with that pair if you wanted. This big heifer, not 100% sure where she fits in. She's a huge heifer in terms of body, rib, muscle, just structural width, but she's, she's probably not balanced quite as nicely, really a big, more shoulder, but more importantly, she doesn't blend together quite as well there from shoulder into her forerib. But you want to talk about one that has performance, has mass, has tremendous amount of, she's really sound for the amount body and muscle that she brings, and still really long fronted. I think you could turn her loose in any pasture in any state, and she'd get you a really powerful calf every year. This young man's doing a nice job with this heifer here. She's stronger in her top line and smoother in her shoulder than the heifer just ahead of her, but at the same time, she's the greenest heifer of the class, comes up just a bit tighter through her forerib, a little bit tighter and shallower through her flank. Really a nice set of four females that have some differences, and that top pair, you could debate, and I think that top pair is really elite.
Over here on the Shorthorn Plus side, we've got two heifers that are a little bit different in their kind. We're going to go ahead and start with the young lady's heifer. It's actually a relatively close placing for me. I really appreciate the way this heifer's made up through her front end, the way she's made in her top. She's got this heifer fit to the T. I don't know if this heifer, if it's her first show or she just always is kind of a little nervous, but she would relax. She might move a little better. She kind of gets a little choppy off of her hind feet when she's fighting the halter. Hopefully, as she settles down, that she'll walk more fluidly. It looks like at times she does, but that's the one concern I have about the heifer. I'd like to see her with a little more authority off of those hind legs, but a really attractive heifer, and the young lady has her fit to the T. Young man's heifer next in line, though not as highly fitted, has some really cool things about it. It certainly gives up a lot in terms of the front end, the cleanness through the neck, and the way it's laid in at the shoulder, but this heifer has some shape down her top, got some muscle shape to her. I think she actually moves out a little better off the hind legs than does our heifer that starts the class. I think a really good breeding tool for the young man. I think there's a lot of bulls you can find that can make that front end a little more attractive in her offspring, but it's some really good breeding pieces, and that female, I think, has a lot of potential.
Results of your early spring heifer calf class 5 on your Shorthorn side. First went to entry 3573 with JJB Classy Katie, exhibited by Meyer Family Shorthorns from Greensburg, Indiana. Second went to entry 4592 Pleasant Blue Moon, owner and breeder Pleasant View Farms from Given, West Virginia. We are now going to select your early spring heifer calf champion and reserve. We're bringing back entry 2283 with a birth date of April 4th, 25, and entry 3573 with a birth date of March 11th. Your reserves in contention from class 4 is 3260, and from class 5 is 4592.
In our Charolais ring, results of Class 109 Summer Yearling Females. First place goes to entry number 3802, that is BCR Brenda, exhibited by Peyton Kaufman. Second place is entry 5472, TR Miss Mayfield, shown by Jackson Orr. Third place was entry number 4231, exhibited by Caitlin Smith. Fourth place, 3163, shown by Lane Wakeman. We are now selecting our intermediate champion female and reserve.
I'm really proud of this young man here that had the single entry in our first class in this division. He's doing a really nice job with the Charolais heifer, and she has value, and I think she'll be a really, really nice cow. In this division, as I said, though, in this class, these two heifers here are pretty darn nice. I mean, really, really nice. I know there's a lot of sales going on in the fall of the year, and in our part of the country especially, and this pair here are really valuable, and I think they both have some strengths over each other, but I'm very, very impressed. Let's congratulate the exhibitors in this division, and I'll pick your champions.
Over on our plus side, we've got the division champion, and I think it's a really nice group of 4 heifers. The young lady with the younger heifer will be the division champion, and the other class winner will be the reserve. Congratulations to you both.
Congratulations to Samantha Van Voris for exhibiting your early spring calf champion with CF Mona Lisa. And your reserve early spring heifer calf champion was exhibited by Meyer Family Shorthorns from Greensburg, Indiana, with JJB Classy Katie. Into the ring at this time, we have Class 8 junior heifer calves. We are looking for 3 entries with birth dates ranging from February 3rd to February 19th.
Congratulations, and our intermediate champion, Charolais female, will go to entry number 3802. That is BCR Brenda, a May 21st female sired by Outrage and exhibited by Peyton Kaufman. And our reserve intermediate is entry number 5472. That's TR Miss Mayfield, a May 9th female sired by SVY Mayfield and exhibited by Jackson Orr. Now in the ring is Class 112, late spring yearling females.
This seems like a great time to introduce all of you to our junior board on the Shorthorn side. We have McKinley Evans from Texas. She currently is attending West Texas A&M. She is the vice president of the Shorthorn Junior Board. We're glad that she was able to make her way across the country here today to be with us this morning. In addition to her, we have Secretary of the Board, Hannah Wetzel. She joins us from Minnesota and is currently attending Iowa State. Again, we appreciate both of our junior board members being here with us today and helping our youth and adults with their show.
Over here on the Shorthorn Plus side, we've got a class of 3. I think the black heifer is probably the most complete. I really like the way she's made up through her front end and the way her shoulder blade lays in. Got some rib shape to her, has a nice long stride. I think a very attractive heifer. A lot of good things about this Blue Roan. Really like the extra muscle she has, especially into her quarter. Could maybe smooth her up just a touch in her shoulder to make her competitive with the heifer above her, but you really like some of her pieces, got a little more bone to her as well, and that is a pretty sound heifer. The white heifer is having a rough day, giving us a hard time getting a look at her, but I think relative to the other heifers, she just needs a little more time, has a lot of really good things about her, like her front end, the way she's laid in at her shoulder, and I think as she gets used to this show ring thing, hopefully it'll settle down for the young man, give him a chance to compete, because again, a heifer that has a lot of good things about her. She's actually walking a little better right now. I think in time, hopefully she'll settle down and give this young man a good shot. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our exhibitors in Class 8 junior heifer calves. First went to 4260 CF Mona Lisa, owned by Aubrey Robertson, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Second was awarded to CP Lady Crystal, owned by Lana Mills from Jasper, New York. And third went to entry 4458 Cow Creek Pearl, owned by Avery Mundy of Hancock, Maryland. In the ring at this time, we have a single entry in our junior heifer calf Class 9. This heifer was born the 1st January 18th, 2025.
Hard to miss this one in this pair. Tremendous, she just absolutely tremendous female in terms of, she just looks like such a great cow. But I really love the amount of mass, the amount of muscle, the amount of body she has. But more importantly, with that much body and mass and muscle, she handles it so well. She's so sound, she fills her track perfect, and yet she's really long-fronted and very, very feminine appearing. And she just looks like you could turn her out anywhere in the country and she'll produce year after year. That's a phenomenal female. Congratulations. The heifer in second, not taking anything away from her, because I see value in her from the standpoint of she's got some shape across her loin. She's also very shapely when you get in behind her through her quarter. And she's still really high-headed, really slim-necked. And from a composition standpoint, you know, the other heifer might be to have a little more on her maybe for her age, but she's starting to drop in calf. And this one here, really, really nice female, just really gets outpowered in this pair.
Just a single entry over on the Shorthorn Plus side, a heifer that I think needs a little more performance to be competitive. It's just a single entry. Thank you very much.
Results of Class 9 junior heifer calves. First was awarded to 1009 MWMWT Coconut Rum, exhibited by Matthew Mullins. We are now ready to select our junior heifer calf champion and reserve. We bring back into the ring Class 8 winner 4260 CF Mona Lisa and Class 9 heifer Coconut Rum. Your reserve. In contention for reserve, we have CP Lady Crystal, entry number 4178.
Results of Class 112 in our Charolais show, late spring yearling females. First place goes to entry number 4241. That is SAC Annalise, exhibited by Peter Hoffines. Second place was 3271. TCC Smokin' Monty, shown by Circle R Cattle Company. Now in the ring is Class 113, early spring yearlings.
Over here on the plus side, we've got a division champion. The two younger heifers from that class will be the champion of reserve. Congratulations to you.
Results of your junior heifer calf division is as follows. Congratulations. Your junior heifer calf champion was CF Mona Lisa, exhibited by Audrey Robertson from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And your reserve was CP Lady Crystal, entry number 4178, owned and bred by Lana Mills from Jasper, New York. On our Shorthorn side, we're now rolling into our senior calf division. We're looking for Class 12 winter heifer calves, and we should have a single entry.
Another single entry in the plus division. Heifer that's a little on the green side. I'd like to see her get a few more groceries to be in show shape, but heifer that's got some femininity to her and some rib shape. Hopefully she'll make a good cow for the young lady.
The results of Class 13, Senior Heifer Calf. First was awarded to AASC Margie's Pearl, owned and bred by Reese McNutt from Bel Air, Maryland. Oh, I'm sorry, take that. That's the class that's in now. Class 12 was H.H. Clarice, exhibited by Samantha Heston from Street, Maryland. We now have Class 13 in the ring, Senior Heifer Calf.
On our plus side, we got another single entry, a female that certainly could stand some competition. We'll talk about her some more when we pick our champion later. Really nice heifer.
Once again, you Charolais breeders have a great pair of females here with a lot to offer the breed. Going to start with the heifer that I think her strengths really lie in the fact that she's a bit more correct along her top line, a bit smoother from hooks to pens, and she's just a bit more powerful in her look. But I tell you what, and you can't hardly build one much better along her top line than this one. She's so good at the top of her shoulder and all the way back, and yet sometimes when they get that ideal in their top line, they don't want to move out quite as free and easy, and yet she gets out and goes with a really good step, and she's not maybe as really way out there in terms of her head and neck, but her face and her neck are still very maternal looking, but just a powerful female that really well balanced, tremendously big body, and holds itself together incredible when she gets out and moves. This heifer here is incredible through the point of her shoulder forward. I mean, she is incredibly long-fronted, way out there in terms of from the shoulder right up, and her length of face and length of front end just reeks of femininity. And she too is pretty darn good striding on both ends of her framework. She has some true natural width throughout her body, through her forerib, through her flank, out here through her hip. Not quite as strong along her top line, but she definitely has an advantage and a little more extension as you view her through her front end. Really a high quality pair of March heifers.
Over here on the plus side, got a division champion we're selecting. A young lady with the white heifer will be the division champion. This is a female that's a handful to show, but this heifer, the way her neck is made and it comes out of her shoulder, she's got some muscle to her. She's really good out through her hip. I think if she'd settle down, we'd see a heifer going out with a really good stride. She seems to be a really sound heifer. Got a lot of good things about her. Hopefully, as the day goes on, she'll settle down a little and work with the young lady to get her shown. But that's a really attractive heifer that will win the division, and our red heifer will be reserved. Good luck to you.
Results of your Senior Heifer Calf Champion Division is as follows. Congratulations to AASC Margie's Pearl, owned and exhibited by Reese McNutt from Bel Air, Maryland. Your Reserve Senior Heifer Calf Champion went to HHF Clarice, exhibited by Samantha Heston from Street, Maryland. In the ring at this time, we have a single entry for Class 16, entry number 351. This class will also, the results of this class will also be the year intermediate champion female.
Another single entry on the Shorthorn plus side, heifer that certainly has a tremendous amount of muscle shape to her, pretty sound heifer. They got her full as a tick. I don't know that she needs to be quite that full, but she's an interesting heifer to evaluate. We'll talk about her some more a little bit later.
Results of Class 16 is as follows. First, and your intermediate champion female is Tequila Rose, entry number 351, exhibited by Allison Schmuck of Somerset, Pennsylvania. Into the ring at this time, we are bringing Class 19 early spring yearling females. The results of this class will determine your early spring champion and reserve champion female. Into the ring, we have 4 entries. Birth dates are ranging from March 20th to April 25th.
Results of Class 113 early spring yearling females in the Charolais show. First place went to entry number 4780. GAL Miss Debbie Jean, exhibited by Hawks. Second place went to entry number 3508. That is JPV Miss Elwin, shown by Charlotte Smithson. Now in the ring, we have Class 116, late junior yearling females.
Over here on the Plus Shorthorn Show, got a really nice pair of heifers to start this class. I think the black heifer really finds the top of the class pretty soundly for me. She's made structurally about as good as I think one could be made. She gets out and goes, tracks out, covers her track, very good the way that she moves. She's made good up through her front end, got some rib shape to her, really good out through her rump, a really attractive female, a lot of good things about her. Really nice heifer to follow her in second, another good one that I think structurally sound, just doesn't have quite as much power as a heifer ahead of her, but a very attractive female, I think, that gets out and goes, maybe even has a bit more foot size and bone to her, but a lot of power in that first heifer. Really nice pair of females to start the class. Heifer next in line, kind of fighting the young man, but heifer that's got some good pieces in her. I think has a future ahead of her as a brood cow, but you know, she's kind of on the fight today, but she doesn't have the performance to compete with the ones that win the class. The young lady's heifer that completes her class is giving up some performance to be competitive in this particular class.
Results of Class 19 is as follows. Congratulations, your early spring champion female was awarded to SVV Mona Lisa, owned by Ella Petranton from St. Clairsville, Ohio, entry number 4961. Your reserve early spring champion female was entry 3912, RWFC Crystal's Limit, owned and bred by Alyssa Slimmer from Cavetown, Maryland. Third was CF Mona Lisa, owned by Grady McGrew, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And fourth, entry 1007, MWM JW Firestorm, owned by Matthew Mullins of Bealton, Virginia. Into the ring at this time, on your Shorthorn side, is Class 22 junior yearling females. We have 2 heifers in this division, ranging in age from January 1st to January 5th. Again, this will determine your champion junior female division.
Once again, a very high-quality set of Charolais females. I think the first pair are really close. There's some give and take in that pair. I chose for the more attractive of the pair. I just think she's a little higher-headed. I really love this heifer down her top line. I love her side view profile. I just think that look right there is tremendous. And she gets out and goes, you know, adequately well. Time or two, you think maybe she gets a little tight in her top line, but when she goes in motion, she really lets it go, and she's got a really good step up front and gets out and goes pretty smooth behind. And then when you get right behind her, there's a lot of female in there, but I really, really give her the tremendous advantage for being the high-quality profiling female that has that look that we like to win the class. There's no question in my mind and this judge's opinion that we have more muscle, we have more bone, we have more just total mass and power in the second place heifer. She's really powerful in her top, and her through her center body, through her rib, her width of base, and I just think it's so important to keep just power and mass in these cattle, and she's got all of that. Maybe a tick rounder out through her hip than the other heifer, but a really good pair. And the first heifer sacrifices quite a bit of that in terms of the mass and substance of that heifer in second. The heifer in third, she's got plenty of shape and plenty of quality as well. She just doesn't want to get out and move quite as free and easy on either end of her framework compared to that pair of heifers that started the lineup.
Over here on the plus side, we've got a class of 2. The young lady of the black heifer will win the class. I think she has an advantage in terms of the way that she's made through her shoulder and she gets out and goes. Very long-bodied female. Like her, the way she moves off of her hind legs, really good out through her hip. Very attractive, broody kind of female. Certainly some good pieces in the red heifer. She's got some muscle mass to her and some rib shape. Just like to change her up through her front end a little bit and maybe have her move off those hind legs a little better. But a heifer that has some breeding potential in her, I think, can make the young lady a good cow.
Results of Class 22 on your Shorthorn plus side is as follows. Congratulations, your junior champion female was awarded to entry 1218 Blatt Acres Classy Cardi, owned by Haley Blatt of Robesonia, Pennsylvania. Your reserve champion junior female was exhibited by entry 1232. Samantha Heston went to HHF Cindy Luhu. Into the ring at this time, we have Class 25 senior yearling females, and we have a single entry.
Another single entry in the Shorthorn Plus division, a heifer that has some really good pieces in her, got some power to her, some rib shape. She's got some thickness to her as she gets out and goes. Looking behind her now, it looks like she's starting to spring a little bit, which I like to see certainly in females as they get to this age. But a really good heifer that certainly, if you're looking for some muscle, this is the kind of female you want to look for. Very nice female.
Congratulations to entry 4593. She is your senior champion female. Pleasant Penelope owned by Pleasant View Farms from Gibbon, West Virginia. We're going to give her just a minute to walk around, and then we will give you your Grand Champion Shorthorn Plus female lineup.
In our Charolais show, results of Class 116 late junior yearling females. First place went to entry number 3509. That's Slick Halsey, exhibited by Charlotte Smithson. Second place went to 5635, Danley's Outlier Shiloh, exhibited by Ashlyn Mankey. And third went to entry number 5473, shown by Molly Orr. We are now selecting our champion junior yearling female and reserve.
On our Shorthorn Plus side, we are ready to select our Grand and Reserve Grand Shorthorn Plus female. Your late spring heifer calf champion is MWN Wild Ruby, entry number 1016. Your early spring heifer calf champion is CF Mona Lisa. Your junior heifer calf champion is CS Mona Lisa from Class 9. Into your winter senior heifer calf division champion is AASC Margie's Pearl. Your intermediate champion female is Tequila Rose. Your early spring champion female is SVV Mona Lisa. Your junior champion female is Black Acres Classy Cardi. And your senior champion female is Pleasant Penelope. In contention for reserve are the following heifers. Your early spring heifer calf reserve champion is JJB Classy Kate. Your reserve champion junior heifer calf is CP Lady Crystal. Your senior heifer calf reserve champion is HHF Clarice. Your reserve early spring champion female is RWFC Crystal Slimit. And your reserve champion junior female is Cindy Lou Who. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your Grand Champion Shorthorn Plus lineup.
there's always a point in the show when you stand there and as a judge, you're like, get your shit together. You know, just pay attention. And, you know, just stand here. And if you're not ready, you better get ready. Because the quality just comes. And, yeah, you got give and take and all of the above. But I'm brutally honest. You know, I speak from my heart. Sometimes it maybe doesn't go in the same direction. But I tell you, I'm really impressed with the quality. I knew I would be. I love these Charolais cattle and what they can contribute to our beef industry, and I really appreciate loving looking at these females and just looking at small differences. But I think the 6 head that you have out here represent your breed very well. These 3 class winners they're truly, their strengths are tremendous, and they really are elite cattle, and I'm very honored to even have the chance to judge them here. And this division is one of those divisions that you really, I think that's why we show. It's enjoyable, and just to be in the heat of the moment is really cool. So before I select a champion in reserve in this division, I would ask you to give these breeders a really nice round of applause for a really powerful set of heifers here. And then I'll get you a champion in reserve. Congratulations to all you exhibitors, and thanks for letting me talk about them.
Well, over here on the Shorthorn Plus side, it's certainly been my pleasure to evaluate these cattle. There are certainly some differences in them, as you might expect to see in a group like this with a lot of genetic diversity. Certainly in the Shorthorn Plus, depending upon what type of cattle you're trying to produce, you might use some different tools, and I think we're seeing some of that out here. I think as we go through our classes, the young man with the first heifer, his heifer really needs more performance to compete at all in this lineup, certainly. The young lady with the heifer from the second group, real attractive female, really nice made up through her shoulder. I think has some good shape to her. I think a lot of potential in that heifer. I'm not sure if she moves off her hind legs as good as I would really want her to, but a lot of that could be with the fact that she's a young heifer and maybe not quite got this show ring thing all figured out, but a really attractive female, a lot of good things about her. Heifer from the next division, really like the little bit of extra muscle she has in her, like her rib shape. I think a heifer that has a very complete look to her and is going to make a good female. I think the white heifer, as I mentioned when we talked about her earlier, a very intriguing female to evaluate. It has some differences in her in terms of her extension to her neck and her front end. I think that she's certainly a heifer with a lot of muscle in her, and I think as time comes on and she settles in and relaxes and gets used to the show ring thing, she's going to be a power to be reckoned with. A lot of good pieces in her. I would really appreciate getting her to slow down her pace just a little bit so I could evaluate her movement relative to some of the others. But I don't see anything particularly that bothers me, but since she's kind of fighting on the halter a little bit, sometimes you have a hard time. But when you get her stopped, and like she is now, she's got her head up, that's a very attractive female to look at. The heifer that comes from our next division, I think certainly is the heifer with the muscle, if that's what you're looking for. She has some really good things about her. I think she's structurally sound. For me, she's just a touch, you know, I don't want to use the word terminal, but she's just a little, not quite as much brood cow in her as some of the other ones. I'd like to see her a little looser in her middle, a little deeper, but boy, that heifer is made right. She's got some good feet and legs under her, and she's got some muscle in her. Really a good breeding tool. I think there's a lot of potential things you could do with it. The young lady from the next division with the big black heifer, this is a heifer that's really sound, really put some pieces together. She's laid in right at her shoulder, her neck comes out really high out of the top of her shoulder. She's a real feminine female, and she gets out and goes well when we have her on the move. I think there's a lot of things to appreciate about that heifer. I think the heifer that follows her from the next division is giving up some body, certainly, some depth of rib, some spring of rib compared to the division ahead of her. But she's a very long-bodied female. I think also is structurally a real sound kind of female. A lot of good things about her. And then the female from our oldest division, got plenty of muscle in her. If we're going to change her a little bit, we'd like to clean her up through her front end just a bit. But that's a powerful heifer. Got a lot of muscle and mass to her. A lot of choices to make here. For me, the champion's relatively logical after that. I think there's some choices to make, but I'll go congratulate the exhibitor of the champion, and then I'll take a bit of a look and pick a reserve.
We just have one entry in our senior division here. Boy, she could stand a lot of competition. This one's built pretty darn good. Extremely attractive, extremely well balanced. She's really good at the ground. Just takes such a good stride on both ends of her framework. And for her age, I really compliment this exhibitor. I really like her composition. I mean, she's not overly wasteful. She's due in the spring. And she just looks to me like she's just going to be a great cow prospect, and I really like this heifer quite a bit. She could easily be competitive in a much bigger division or much bigger class, so congratulations.
On your Shorthorn Plus side, we would like to congratulate your grand champion female. Came from your early spring champion division with SVV Mona Lisa, exhibited by Ella Patranton of St. Clairsville, Ohio. Your reserve grand champion also came from your early spring division and was reserve with RWFC Crystal's Limit, and that was exhibited by Alyssa Slimmer from Cavetown, Maryland. That will conclude our Shorthorn Plus show for the day. We are doing pictures at the backdrop at this time. When the pictures are done at the backdrop, we will be going directly into our Purebred Shorthorn show. Again, Purebred Shorthorn show will follow immediately when pictures have concluded at the backdrop.
To get us caught up in the Charolais ring, results of Class 116, the late junior yearlings. First place went to entry number 3509, shown by Charlotte Smithson. Second place was 5635, Ashlyn Mankey. Third was 5473. Results of the champion junior yearling and reserve drive. Our champion junior yearling went to entry number 4780. That is GAL Miss Debbie Jean, exhibited by McKinley Hawks. And reserve in that division was entry number 3271, shown by Circle R Cattle Company. Now in the ring, we are exhibiting our cow-calf pairs.
This may be as tough a decision I've had so far in 2 days. I really, really compliment the Charolais exhibitors that are out here bringing a cow-calf pair. I know it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to keep them coming, and I'm really, really impressed. We've got a young cow over here with her first calf. This bull calf is a really growthy, powerful bull. I really like the femininity of that female, and again, I really like the condition that she's in, and to have the power to, for her first calf, to have that big, powerful bull calf at her side. That's a very strong pair. Pretty majestic 5-year-old cow here. She's pretty powerful in terms of her build and her makeup. She's so good in her top line. I really like how her udder blends into her belly wall. Both these cows, I think, are pretty darn sound for the mass and power that they bring. She's really incredibly good, a good-looking cow as you look at her up there through the top of her shoulder and then up there through her front. And then this heifer calf at side, she might be a little green yet for some, you know, on the show side, but she's a beautiful heifer from a profile, really a very, very attractive female, and just a great set of two cow-calf pairs. Let's give these two, before I pick the champion reserve in this division, let's give them a great, great round of applause for bringing these pairs and representing your breed so well. Let's give them a great round of applause. Congratulations to you both. I'll go out and pick your champions. You guys will be champions. Congratulations. You guys will be reserved. Congratulations. Great pair.
Congratulations in first place cow-calf pair. We'll go to entry number 2847. That is W2 Starstruck 13J, exhibited by Matt Bauerlein. And our second place cow-calf pair is entry number 4583. That is L-Man, KLL Angie, shown by Blakely Lemon.
I really like the udder on that bigger cow for a 5-year-old. Both of them are pretty good. The kid this first calf have to have a big bull calf. The thing's pretty good. If you ever all part, just always the same. And then it's great.
We've been through multiple budget challenges, so from the extension side, we're really down. Last year, covers the state. So when I started, I was covering Tucson area 30 years ago, and it's gotten larger and larger. And so two people trying
I'd like to take a moment and remind exhibitors that, again this year, 3MM Sales and Service will be supplying a trailer for use for 1 year to the champion, the Supreme Champion female, which will be selected at 5 o'clock this evening. The trailer normally is on display here in the ring. However, this year it is in our trade show, lettered and ready to go to our Supreme Champion female. Again, that will be selected this evening at 5 o'clock, and we want to say thank you to EMM for their gracious support. We're now ready for the selection of our grand champion, Charolais female. In the ring at this time, we need our junior calf champion, entry number 19 530. Our senior calf champion is entry number 2841. Our intermediate champion was entry number 3802. Our junior yearling was entry number 4780. Our senior yearling was entry number 3651. And our cow calf is entry number 2847. Standing as reserves, we will have entries number 4974, 2869, 5472, 3271, and where's my cow calf? And our reserve cow calf is entry number 4583.
First class of shorthorn bull calves. We're going to start with the young man's white bull calf. I think he combines the most things together. Obviously, all these calves are pretty green, very young yet, but I think this guy's got a sound structure to him. He gets out and goes. I think he has some indication he has some shape. It'll be interesting to see how his shoulder looks as he gets a little more, condition on him. He looks to me like he moves real sound. Just like to see him as he gets a little more mature. Young lady's roan bull calf will be second. This calf that's got some muscularity in terms of his appearance. Again, a real green calf, not quite as much rib shape, not quite as square out to his rump as the young man's bull that wins the class. Then the young man that concludes their class has a calf that's given up some performance relative to the two ahead of him. Really nice calf to win the class.
Attention in the arena, attention in the arena. Struggling with how to make this announcement so we're not flooded, but we have a young gentleman has turned in some money that was lost. Check your pockets, and it is a specific amount. If you are missing some money that you had tucked in your pocket, we have it here at the large arena. Thank you. I'd like to catch up here on the shorthorn side. Your late spring bull calf class 1, 3207 was your late bull calf champion with CLF VCC Casper. owned by Joshua Blakeman of Oak Hill, Ohio, and Cedar Lane Farm of Cedarville, Ohio. Second went to 638 CMH Cocoa, and third to 2451 Ike's Mo. We now have our early spring bull calves in the ring, and this will determine our champion and reserve champion division of early spring bull calf.
Over in our Shorthorn show, we've got a couple of bull calves that have some differences in them. I'm going to start with the young man's bull that certainly has some muscle mass to him as you look down his top. He's a bull that looks to me like he's going to be a little larger framed bull at maturity, which is consistent with his yearling EPD, but that's not the reason why he wins the class. I think he puts some things together and combines them a little better in terms of his length of body, the way he's made out through his hip, and the way he gets out and goes. Young lady's bull calf certainly has some positive things about him as well, and if you were going to change that pair, you'd do it because he's a little soggier bodied. But in terms of muscle down the top and into the quarter, I think the other bull has that advantage. But this bull certainly is a little neater maybe in its front end and has that rib shape. So there certainly are some trade-offs. My preference is for the performance. I think the bull that wins the class is a little stronger right off his hind legs. But two really nice calves.
Results of Class 4 early spring bull calves. Your early spring bull calf champion was awarded to CLF Patch Adams, owned and bred by Cedar Lane Farms in Cedarville, Ohio. Second went to LPA In Motion, owned and bred by Madeline Rankin of Centerville, Pennsylvania. In the ring at this time, we have Class 7, a single entry of 3203. This will be your junior bull champion at the conclusion of the class.
Just a single entry in this particular class on the Shorthorn side. Red, white-legged bull. It certainly has some good things about him. We'll talk about him more when we bring him out later. But bull that gets out and goes, I think, pretty sound.
Once again, I want to say thank you to the Keystone and the Beef Committee for asking me to serve as one of your judges. I read the list of judges, and I was kind of in awe that I was even part of the group. But most importantly today, I want to thank you, Charolais breeders. I said this yesterday in the Simmental show. You know, I hope that you realize that this is your show. I'm just the one that's out here giving you my opinion. But it's funny, you know, people say, how'd the show go? And I said, well, the exhibitors make the show. If you have great livestock or great Charolais females in this division, then the show is going to be really good, irrespective of where some of the judges may choose to line you up. And so, but I'm really happy with the lineup that we have out here. I think they look similar. And I think I owe that, some of those decisions to you folks for bringing what I think are really, really high quality females that are worth a lot of money right now. And I really compliment you for continuing to stay with your Charolais breed and continuing to improve your breed. And I'm a very, very big promoter of your Charolais cattle, and the number of prime cattle of some of your purebred herds up our way that have been harvested that I've evaluated is staggering. And so I just know you're on the right track. And this lineup here should remind you that you're in a pretty good shape. And I wish you nothing but the best. I'm very, very happy to be here, very happy to have a chance to judge the Charolais. Most importantly, though, I'm very happy for you Charolais exhibitors, and I'm very happy for the show here at the Keystone that you have the quality that you have to represent your breed. It's my honor to select your champion. I think you could go several different ways. Most importantly, I think each one of these individuals, if this is their last show, they've had a good career. If this is the first show, I think you have lots and lots of outcome that you can still achieve because of the quality that you brought forward. So with that, I would ask all of you in the audience to give this group a great round of applause, and I'll be honored to select your champion and reserve Charolais. Let's give them a great hand. Thank you very much.
Over on the Shorthorn side, we've just got a single entry, a really nice big bone white bull. Got some muscle to him. We'll talk about him some more when we select our champion in just a few moments, but really complete kind of bull that's got some power to him. Be interested to see him against the rest of them.
Congratulations to the following exhibitors. First place and your intermediate champion bull was awarded to entry number 2671, Big Man Zig, owned by Elizabeth Gouger of Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania. Into the ring at this time on your Shorthorn is a single entry early spring yearling bull, entry number 2270 with a birth date of March 30th, 2024.
Another single entry in the Shorthorn Bull division. He's a pretty good one. Certainly a bull you need to appreciate for his balance, his rib shape, the way he gets out and goes. And relative to several of the bulls that we've seen in this division, his indexes are actually quite impressive for this kind of a bull, and it'll be interesting to compare him to the other bulls as we look at our champion lineup. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and grand champion female will go to our junior yearling champion entry number 4780. That is GAL Miss Debbie Jean, a March 18th female sired by Relief and exhibited by McKinley Hucks. And reserve champion was our reserve champion junior yearling, entry number 3271. That is TCC Smokin' Monty, an April 17th daughter of Relief, exhibited by Circle R Cattle Company. Congratulations.
Results of Class 13 and your junior champion bull is entry 2270, FCF In Demand, owned by Gypsy Creek Ranch in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We are now ready to select your grand and reserve grand champion purebred Shorthorn bull here at the Keystone International Livestock Expo. We're going to start with your late spring bull champion, entry number 3207, CLF VCC Casper. Your early spring bull calf champion is CLF Patch Adams. Your junior bull calf champion is entry number 3203, CLF Destined. Your late spring yearling bull intermediate champion bull is entry 2671, Big Man Zig. And your junior bull champion is CF In Demand, entry number 2270. In contention for reserve is from your late spring bull reserve is 638. Your reserve early spring bull calf reserve is entry number 3270. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Grand Champion Bull Drive. Please put your hands together for all of our bull exhibitors here in the Shorthorn Show.
Just one entry in our first bull class here, February bull. Really sound, really functional. I really appreciate the development of his testicles. He's got a really good angle to his sheath. He's up-headed. Just a bit, needs to just mature, and would just try to keep him sound enough as he goes, because he's sure got the body and the mass to be an awfully good herd bull.
Our first place spring yearling Charolais bull goes to entry number 3594. That is SSF Miss Judy's Historic, exhibited by Bob Tibbs. We're now ready for Class 129, Junior Bull Calves.
Well, to select our champion shorthorn bull, it's really interesting thing. I know I've been commenting with one of the people who works at the Shorthorn Association office. I'm a guy that actually pays quite a bit of attention to EPDs, and I analyze the data, and there really wasn't much difference in any of the cattle. The one difference is that if you look at some of the indexes, there's one bull that has an advantage. It has nothing to do with the way I'm going to place them, but it was just something I noticed that stuck out, because often we don't see a lot of the cattle that win some of these shows that actually have decent numbers in terms of British maternal index and things like that. So I think it's important that we appreciate that when we have it. As we look at this lineup of bulls, white calf I think has a lot of future ahead of him. Pretty green yet. I think he'd probably just soon be at home eating, and rather than being at the show barn right now, but he's a calf that I think has a lot of future ahead of him. Young man's calf that won the second division, made a comment about him in terms of having a better yearling EPD than the other calf in the class, and I think there are some things you got to appreciate about him. Red and white bull, I think, is an interesting calf. As we look at him, he's made structurally pretty good. I'd like to see him move just a little stronger off his hind legs relative to the bull that's going to win today. But certainly he's a calf that has some good things about him. The white bull is an interesting bull. I think has some foot size and bone circumference you really want to appreciate. Like to see him with maybe a little more softness in his middle compared to some of the other bulls. And he could move off his hind legs just a little bit better. Then we come to this Rome bull that won our oldest division, and he kind of puts it all together. He's a very sound bull, gets out and goes, and I think he's a bull that you really need to appreciate, and he'll be our champion. Congratulations to you. And with that, reserve is going to be our red bull with the white legs right in the middle here. Congratulations.
This next bull class, I'm going to use the bigger bull of the pair. I think he just has more cushion to his pasterns. He just sets down just a little bit sounder on both ends of his frame. He's got a bit more body and a bit more just performance to him. It's still a pretty good balanced package. This bull here is a real youthful looking bull that's really extended up through his front end, extremely smooth in his pattern, really laid in correct through his shoulder. Today he wants to come up just a nickel refined, but he's got some value to him, and I think both bulls are awfully good. But we'll go 1 here and 2 here. Congratulations to both of you.
Like to congratulate our grand champion Shorthorn bull. Entry number 2270 is CF In Demand, owned by Gypsy Creek Ranch from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And your reserve grand champion came from your junior bull calf division and is CLF Destined, owned and bred by Cedar Lane Farm from Cedarville, Ohio. We are going to take some pictures of our bulls here, and that may take just a few minutes as we figure up, as we fit them in at the backdrop. And then we will be moving into our purebred Shorthorn female show. Again, we are taking some backdrop pictures of our bulls, and then we will be moving into our purebred female show.
For bull calf champion, I think we need to keep these two bulls together. They're similar in their kind. They're just vary a bit in size and performance. This bull calf, the older one, I think he has the best structure of the three. Appreciate the soundness that he brings to the class, and that coupled with his high head and his amount of shape and dimension that he brings. The other bull, like I said, just a bit greener in his makeup, but I like him at the top of his shoulder and the way he comes up there with his head and frame as well. That's a good pair of bulls. This guy here's got some performance to him, just doesn't move quite as free and easy and have quite as much balance as these two. So nice set of bulls. Champion here, the second, will be reserve in this division. Congratulations to both of you.
In our Charolais Bull Show, congratulations and champion bull calf goes to entry number 2901. That's RDSA Thunderstruck, exhibited by Madison Dobbin. And reserve champion is entry number 3594, SSF Miss Judy's Historic, exhibited by Bob Tibbs. Now in the ring we have class 141, junior yearling bulls. Senior, a single entry.
Pretty proud of this young man out here doing a great job today showing, and you can tell he likes the Charolais cattle. Got himself a nice bull here, really functional in his makeup. He's a big-bodied bull. It's easy doing through his rib. Gets out and moves real free and easy. And still has some look up there through his front end. Congratulations, big man. You're doing a great job.
Congratulations and champion junior yearling bull. And first place in class 141 will be entry number 3165. CMC War Road, exhibited by Lane Wakeman. We're now ready for class 145, Summer Senior Yearling Bulls.
this is a powerful Charolais bull. I mean, my God, you look at this guy through his shoulder, and if you get up on top of him, the spread that he has to his loin and the amount of mass that he has from behind, big old hoof underneath of him, and he's still got some on him too. You know, he's not one that's definitely not overly conditioned, but he's got some condition to him. It looks like he might have hurt his pastern or his hock when he was on the travels here, but I just don't think that is something that's been with him all along. This guy's a pretty powerful Charolais bull. Congratulations and thanks for bringing him.
First place in Class 145 and also Champion Senior Bull will go to entry number 4230. That is KNS 11th Hour, exhibited by Caitlin Smith.
Nobody has as wild a blazer.
Oh, I know. I liked your blue one yesterday.
I'm just teasing. You know I'm totally teasing. But I do work on it.
We are now ready for the selection of our grand champion Charolais Bull. In the ring at this time, we should have entry number 2901. That is our junior bull calf champion. Our champion junior bull was entry number 3165. And our champion senior bull is entry number 4230. Standing as in our reserve line, we will have one bull, entry number 3594.
We'd like to welcome you here to the Shorthorn Arena. We are doing the 2025 Keystone International Livestock Purebred Female Show for the Shorthorn Open Division. Our first class will be late spring heifer calves. We will have 4 entries with birth dates ranging from May 2nd to June 28th. This will be a division selection also. So we will also have our late spring heifer calf and reserve come from Class 1. Thank you.
As we get here to the finals of our Charolais Bull Drive, as we look at the calf, this bull is going to be a big framed, extended bull throughout. He's also, for the length that he has in his framework, he's got quite a bit to his top and through his rib, and he gets out and goes pretty well. Bull that I think has a good future there as your calf champion. This big man that's showing the bull in the middle of the ring, this guy might be the soundest of the group. He really takes a long, smooth stride, and he looks like he could cover some cows no problem. And I really like how much shape he has, and he's still really smooth there and through his shoulder. And I'm really proud of this big man. He's shown some nice cattle today and done a very nice job. The bigger bull here, I can tell this guy has tremendous quality. He doesn't want to move the best today from behind, just off the left, but I don't see anything in his hooves, his pasterns. That's a problem. I just think he's sore. This guy is just a powerful bull. It's pretty hard, you know, if you just weigh and balance where we are with bone, volume, muscle, relative to age and size. Pretty tough to get around this big guy. So with that, I'll select your champion reserve. I'm going to go ahead and use the older bulls. This guy here will be champion. This guy here will be reserve champion. Congratulations to you all. Thank you so much for having me serve as your judge, and best wishes to you all.
Did we ever see the bull calf on the pair?
Our first class of shorthorn heifers in the purebred division. We've got a heifer I think finds her way to the top of the class. Really appreciate this female in terms of her angularity up front, the way her neck comes out of the top of her shoulder. She has some rib shape to her. She's level out to her rumps, and she gets around the ring, I think, very soundly, has a nice stride. Really appreciate some things about that. I think it's close between second and third. The young man with the roan that we have in second, I think that's a fancy bugger. I really appreciate the shape of the neck and the way the shoulder blades laid in, got that extra rib shape and gets out and goes. I think she moves just a bit better off the hind legs than this red heifer wants to today. This heifer is kind of fighting the halter a little bit, which may be part of it. But she's a little shorter in her stride. She's not quite as neat right through the juncture of her neck into her shoulder compared to the heifer in second. And the heifer that concludes our class is just giving up too much performance to compete.
Results on your shorthorn side is as follows. Class 1 late spring heifer calves. Your late spring heifer calf champion was awarded to entry 3252 LPA Max Rosa, a May 10th heifer owned by Madeline Rankin of Centerville, Pennsylvania. Second place, entry number 2290, CF Dream Only, owned by Sawyer McGrew of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, was your reserve late heifer calf division winner. Third went to entry 3246 CLF Airy, owned by Cedar Lane Farm, and fourth to entry 2705 PMF KP Fancy Caroline, owned and bred by Chloe Patrick. Into the ring at this time, we have your early spring heifer calf division. We are looking for 5 entries. Heifers in this class range in age from April 16th to April 29th, 2025.
Congratulations, and Grand Champion Bull in our Charolais show goes to entry number 4230. That is KNS 11th Hour, a May 1st, 23 son of Redemption and exhibited by Caitlin Smith. Our reserve champion bull is entry number 3165. That is CMC War Road 407, a January 31st, 24 son of M1009133 and exhibited by Lane Wakeman. Congratulations.
I'm gonna jot this down because I'm gonna have to tell someone that this was added because it's not.
Results of Class 151, Charolais Produce a Dam. First place will go to an entry by Matt Bauerlein. Second place is the entry exhibited by Caitlin Smith.
What time do we start the limmies?
Well, some of the people, it depends. If there's like a champion, they will end up going that way. And if you're talking about the ones that just showed that group, don't worry about them. They took them out. That'll be fine. We've got a show coming up here in a minute if you want to stay and help.
Is it the same judge?
They're agreed to go do that.
Okay. So, do I have time to run and grab a sandwich?
Yes, because I'm going to go to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Attention everyone, we have a vehicle that needs moved immediately. Outside the equine arena is parked a Subaru with Pennsylvania plate MSN 1404. That vehicle needs moved immediately. Again, outside the equine arena, Subaru with Pennsylvania plate MSN 1404. Could you please move that vehicle immediately? Thank you.
What's a Guido's called or a group of 5 head?
I'm sorry, honey.
What's a Guido's group and group of 5?
There are no entries in that, so don't worry about that. You can just, if that's for, I don't know if she put that up for Charolais or Limousine, I'm not sure. I
It says
didn't see it.
Charolais.
Then you can take that off and put it on, back on that golf cart.
So that's the end of Charolais.
That's the end of Charolais.
And I have to go. I'm only doing.
Yeah, I don't know if they want someone or somebody over here. Okay.
In our shorthorn class, we've got a heifer I think finds her way to the top. That's a fancy bugger. She gets out and goes. I think she moves as sound as anything in the ring. She's very extended in her front end. Her neck comes out really high out of the top of her shoulders. She's got some rib shape. And most important thing to me is how true she's moving off of all 4 of her legs. I think she has a lot of potential ahead of her and a lot of time to come. Really fancy bugger to start her class with. I think it's close between second and third. I prefer the way this red heifer moves off of her hind legs to the heifer that stands in third. I think she's a long body female, not quite as highly fitted, but a female that I think has some really good pieces in her. Really like the way she moves off of her hind end compared to the heifer in third. This heifer in third, really a deep-bodied heifer that's got some shape to her quarter. For me, she's a little short-strided off of her hind legs. If she took a good stride, I think she'd be competitive in this class, but I think being a little short-strided, she's just a tick tight the way she moves off her hind legs, but really got some good pieces in her. Young ladies heifer next in class, just giving up in terms of the amount of power, rib shape, and structural soundness that we have up the line, but a heifer that's certainly very good out of her front end. And a heifer that has some potential, like to change the way she moves off her hind end. The white heifer fighting this young lady a little bit. She's also a heifer that's a little round the way she's made and her muscle structure. Wants to get her feet underneath herself when she moves, but hopefully she'll turn out to be a really good female for the young lady. Congratulations.